Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. In case this is your first time here, please don't forget to subscribe, and you can also turn on the notification bell just so you know when next I upload a new video. So from the title of the video, I'm sure you already have an idea of what this video is all about. I'm going to be talking about how my year 2019 went and my goals for the year 2020. Basically, the year 2019 was my toughest year yet, my toughest year of my adult life, and a lot of things happened to me, especially earlier on in the year. Towards the end of 2018, I had to leave my job to go on maternity leave to have my second child, and based on the nature of the job, there really is no room for vacuum. So as soon as I went on maternity leave, they needed to get somebody else to fill in the space. And even though I was supposed to go back after my maternity leave, which was like 3 months after, by the time I was ready to go back, there really wasn't any vacancy anymore. So it's either I was taking a job that was coming with a lesser pay, and or I waited till whenever there really was a vacancy. And for the rest of that year, there wasn't any vacancy, and I really didn't want to take the job that was coming with a lesser pay. So I had my son in July, and because I had a side business that I was running even when I always had my paid employment, I told myself, okay, let me just focus my energy on my side business. But I later discovered that my side business was working well just because I had money coming in from another source that I really could channel into the business and make something of it. So when I didn't have that aspect anymore, it really became so tough for me to run the business. And if you are in Nigeria, you understand how difficult it is to run a business in Nigeria. It involves a lot of capital, it involves a lot of things that if you are not in a financially comfortable state, it will be a bit difficult. So going towards the end of the year 2018, I was still living off savings, and then I had to depend on my husband for anything major that I needed to do. By the time we entered 2019, it became really tough because I started feeling like I have not done anything with myself, like I wasn't being productive, I wasn't achieving anything, and I really had not been in that kind of state because I got my first job almost immediately after school. I've always had a job, and even on the side I had my business. So like there was never a time that I felt like I wasn't doing anything. I had a lot of things I could channel my energy into. But I discovered that a lot of that was working just because there was really money coming in. And when that channel was closed, it became really difficult for me. I couldn't really live the kind of lifestyle I wanted to live, and I just had a lot of emotional issues during that period. Early 2019, I started getting very depressed. Like I really didn't have anywhere to go to. I didn't have a social life kind of, because I was always very busy. So now that I had a lot of time on my hands, I didn't know what to do with it. Like sometimes I would be home. I wasn't even really staying at home. I was going to my place of business. But even when I'm there, my business really was more functional online. So it wasn't like I was meeting anybody new. So at some point I started feeling like I wasn't having enough adult conversations around me. Like I only had my kids, and my husband was mainly out of town because of work. So most times it was just me and the TV and my kids and my help, my nanny and all of that. So it really wasn't convenient for me. I wasn't feeling myself. I was feeling like I was getting useless by the day. So by February 2019, I was getting very depressed about the whole situation. By March, same thing. And after I celebrated my birthday in March, I told myself I can't continue like this. Okay, I've been trying to look for another job, and I'm not seeing anything that actually fits what I wanted. I didn't know for how long I could continue like that. The business that I thought I was going to fall back on wasn't going the way I planned. So after my birthday in March, I decided that I really wasn't going to continue to live like that, feeling depressed. Like that was not me. I'm not the type to just be pitying myself and be wallowing in self-pity about the situation. I just wanted to get something to do with it. So because I had a lot of time on my plate, I said, okay, why not find something that makes me happy, something that will probably take my mind off all of what is going on that I was thinking about, and let me channel my energy into that, depending when something better comes along. So I decided to join the gym. I've always exercised on the side. I used to have a personal trainer that I paid on a monthly basis to just wake me up as early as possible. We go jogging, then we do some light exercises and all of that. But a lot of times it was easy for me to say, oh, I'm tired, I didn't sleep well, can we just do tomorrow? And sometimes I won't even pick his call. So but joining the gym was going to make me more accountable. And I also decided to go to a particular gym that I already had friends that were going there, and I was seeing results, and I knew that okay, having friends go to the same gym would also help motivate me better. So they would call me on their way, we'll meet there, and then sometimes after we go to the gym, we used to do more of aerobics, then we go swimming, then after that we sometimes hang out. So we started doing that in April, and I started to feel better. So I started doing that during my free time. So the times I will have sat down and start thinking, oh, I should have done this, I should have done that, that time wasn't there anymore. So once I go to the gym, I come back, I feel so refreshed, and then I just go to bed. I used to go in the evening. I started noticing that I was feeling much better than I used to feel before, because I really wasn't thinking so much anymore. I was channeling my energy to something that was making me more excited and all of that. So, and then on the side, I was also losing weight, which I had always wanted. So that was in April. By May, I think towards the end of April, we were told that we will not be able to renew the rent of the house we were living in, and we needed to start thinking of how to move. That was not something that I was expecting. So that started giving me, needed to start searching. Our rent was going to expire at the end of June, and we were just getting to know by April end. So we had about 2 months to just do the search and all of that. And moving in Lagos is not so easy. It's very tough financially, emotionally, as in it comes with a whole lot of stress. So it wasn't something that we had planned for that year. So it was something that was coming as a shock, and I knew that it was going to be very, very tough, like, because I had to be the one to start doing the search. Like, I'm the one that knows what I want in the house. My husband is also concerned about all of that, so I will be the one to actually start doing the search. Even sometimes when we go together, he will just tell me, babe, you know, my own is just to pay them, but really I was one who really needed to see them anyway. So, and we're doing that. I did that the whole of May, and by June we are still not gotten a place, because I looked at everything I was doing at that time. I looked at church, my children's school, my business. I wanted to still be in an environment that still made it easy for me to access everything that I was doing before. So and I wasn't seeing anything I really wanted. And then the other problem was, even when you see something you really like, sometimes it's not within your budget, because in Lagos most times they tell you have to pay like 2 years ahead of everything, the rent, the agency fees, the commission, everything. They want to take 2 years up front. So it was coming with a whole lot of financial commitments and all of that. So, and we already had a budget for it, so we needed to find something within that budget. And before we, in fact, I think we were able to get the place like 2 days or maybe a day before we were even supposed to move. Already I was wondering, I don't want this woman to come and say that's my landlady. I didn't want her to. I think I talked about moving houses in one of my videos. If you go through my channel video list, you will see that video there. The woman wasn't somebody that was reasonable, and so I didn't want a situation whereby when it's time for us to move, we would not have moved. Like, I didn't want that kind of scenario at all, and I didn't want any stress. Like, I was already going through enough already. I didn't want her to add to it. So as at the week that our rent was going to be due, we had still not gotten the place, and I think we were only able to pay for the place that we ended up getting much later, which is where we are now, maybe like few days till the day that we're supposed to leave, and we still had to do some cleaning and do a whole lot of things to put things in place for us to move in to. So all of that period, in fact, I could not even go to the gym at some point. Like, the whole of that July, I don't think I was able to go to the gym. So I only went to the gym like April and May. But I was losing weight so drastically because of the stress I was going through emotionally and physically. And by the time we moved like we moved early July. So but before we settled down, because in fact we had to move, just make sure that okay, we cleaned and painted, then moved our things and started fixing things while we were already living there. That was how bad it got. So for like the rest of that July, I really didn't get myself. I could not do anything. Even the other business that I wanted to start doing, I couldn't start it until when we were fully settled, because I purposely didn't start it from the old house. I didn't want the energy of that house on it, and I wanted to do it in the new house when we were all settled and all that. So we settled maybe like ending of July, and then August I wanted to start the business, and then my maid said, oh, she wanted to leave. I think she had mentioned that she wanted to leave before we moved, but I told her that, oh, we need to move and I will still need your help and all of that. So but once we settle, then maybe ending of July you will go. But she couldn't go at the end of July because we were still settling in then. So it was, I think, ending of August that she was able to leave. So when she left again, it put me back like in square one. How do I handle 2 kids and handle a new business that still needs a lot of restructuring and all of that? It's just a whole lot that I really don't want to get into in this video, because I don't want the video to be too long. But all in all, I think I was not able to get another maid until sometimes in October. So I had to deal with my business and handling my kids that whole period. And at some point they were even on holidays that there was really nothing I could do because they were in the house. So I really couldn't start my new business until like sometimes in October, when they resumed school sometimes in September. That was when I started gradually, and then I think a new maid came in October. So that was when I started doing it, and it started growing and all of that. So but God so good, as tough as my year was, I had always wanted a vacation. I had not had a vacation in like 4 years. So it was really something that I was hoping and I was praying for and I was looking forward to, and God really blessed us. We were able to go on that vacation. I was actually able to go with my husband, just my husband. That was the first time I was going to be traveling with my husband, like since I'd been married. The first time I traveled when I was married, when I was already married, I went alone. So that was the first time I was able to get my husband to go on a trip with me, and we really had fun, because the first time I went by myself, I didn't get to do much because it was just me. Most times when I travel with my friends. So that was the first time I was going to be traveling alone, and it was just because he couldn't make it anyway. So I was really bored. I really didn't do much. So instead I just turned it more into like a business trip, because I ended up buying things to come and sell. So but this time around we were able to go together, we had fun and all of that. So I have a vlog series on that. Like if you go through my videos, you'll see my vlog series on that. So but that was like a compensation for everything I had gone through earlier in the year. I was able to rest, I was in a better place, and it was just something that I'm just very grateful to God for. So coming to the year 2020, I hope things continue to get better. I still don't have a job, but I'm putting my energy on my business, and I'm also trying to channel a lot of energy to my YouTube channel so that I can grow my channel, because it's something that I really want to do, and I want it to get to the point where all of my income probably comes from YouTube. So because it's something that I really want to do, and if you have anything else that you are doing, you can't focus so much on your channel. But I hope to be able to grow my channel this year. And another thing I hope to be able to do this year is to further my studies, because since I left school I had not actually done anything extra, and I have not been able to do that in the past 8 years since I left school, 8 or 9 years now, because I decided to work a while before I traveled for my master's, and then along the line I got married, I started having kids, and I really couldn't combine all of that. But now that my kids are grown, I don't intend to have any other child. So now is the time that I want to start considering that again. So that is one of the things I hope to be able to achieve in 2020. And on the side, I'm still looking for paid employment, because I think it's still something that I want to still do for a while. Though I don't see myself working for somebody for the rest of my life, but I still want to build my career to an extent before I decide to, take a step back and focus on other things. So that's just all I wanted to discuss in this video. I think I should have done this earlier. I should have been my first video for the year, but a lot of distractions. The kids were still at home. I still don't have a nanny because the last nanny I had left during the festive period and she's yet to be back. So with the kids at home, not going to school yet, I really couldn't do that. But they resumed school now, and then now everything is back to normal, and I think I can start. And even my business, I really couldn't do much earlier in the year, but now I'm going in aggressively, and maybe one of these days I'll talk about it on YouTube. But you'll be seeing some of the things I do on here, and some things that I can blog about. I'll probably blog about them. But in case you have not subscribed to my channel, like I said, I'm trying to grow this channel this year. I would really appreciate it if you can do that. And if you like my video, please give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you guys in my next video.